As you first start up the Red Lantern, you immediately get a sense of adventure. Driving through a snowy Alaskan night and chatting with your faithful sidekick, a white and gray husky named Chomper, you begin to understand what stands before you. The Musher, our spunky, unnamed 20-something protagonist, has decided to drop the hustle and bustle of life in San Francisco in favor of leading a team of sled dogs in the Alaskan bush. Played by Ashley Birch, the dialogue is relatively simple but masterfully performed. Initially armed with an old rifle, a small amount of ammo, food, and medical supplies, you begin your trek into the unknown. You won't realize it at first, but at its core, the Red Lantern is a roguelite run-based game to reach the abandoned cabin with the Red Lantern hanging at the door. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Dual Screens content.
And I sure as hell wouldn't be out on this road in the middle of nowhere, Alaska.
The first step in your quest for your new life in the wilderness is assembling your team. You make 8 stops, meeting a unique dog along the way. You'll get a brief explanation of some of the pros and cons of the dog, and then decide if you want to adopt or leave the dog. Each of the dogs truly feels unique, both in look and ability. With your team selected, you're ready to start your expedition into the Alaskan bush. The beautiful, visually captivating style translates very well to the depiction of the harsh winter woodlands. The dogs are beautiful and distinct, with each having their own personality and vibe they bring to your expedition. Landscapes, night or day, are breathtaking. Seeing the northern lights for the first time is one of the most visually compelling things you will ever experience in the game. Though the game's art design is simplistic, it's one of the biggest reasons you'll come back for more.
I can't believe we made it to Alaska, Chomper. Margot said to travel to the end of the road and then hop on the sled and travel a few days more. We'd know her cabin by the Red Lantern hanging by the door.
Your protagonist makes great effort to narrate the basics of dog sledding, as well as what encounters mean for you and your team. As you reach split points, you will call out gi or ha to denote left or right turns respectively, which will guide you along your path, ultimately leading you to your final destination. Along your path, you'll encounter trail markers denoted as a red icon and random encounters that will cost you and your team of dogs energy. Typically, encounters are some kind of meeting with a wild animal or a discovery of supplies left behind by previous adventurers. Encounters with animals give you a few options. You could either observe the animal and try to learn more about it, or expel some ammo and initiate a simple hunting minigame. Based on the dogs you have, different outcomes may occur as well.
So, you're gonna have to take the lead. It's a lot of responsibility looking out for a team, but I think you're ready for it. You ready to find our new home? Yeah, me too.
The live, die, repeat flow is present in the Red Lantern, but it's very different from games like Rogue Legacy and Dead Cells. Anytime you reach a fail state, which you absolutely will, instead of actually dying, you wake back up in your van and realize that additional supplies you need to bring. This is an incredibly cool way to explain the repetition of each run and keeps you more immersed in its narrative. Starting resources are tied to different outcomes of random encounters with different Alaskan wildlife. As you experience elk calls and the cutest bear snout boops you'll ever see, you'll unlock more and more materials to bring with you to start out your adventure. In addition to starting with additional resources, there are tools that can help you in a myriad of ways that you could find along the way. From an axe that makes it so you don't expend energy when you're harvesting birch bark to start fires, or to a trap that helps you catch food while you rest at camp. These are permanent unlocks that will make your path to the cabin much easier. As you continue to push further and further into the Alaskan wilderness, you'll start to see a number of random encounters that build a strong bond with your furry companions. The encounters start becoming very repetitive as you get later in the game, however. The amount of times you'll hunt the same deer or have your dogs eat the same squirrel becomes tedious at best and incredibly annoying at worst. Even with the repetition in the encounters, the dialogue you experience and the bond you will build with your dogs are incredibly rewarding. Even after you reach the end, there is still more to discover. There are over 100 unique encounters, each slightly different depending on which dogs are in your team, as well as a number of tools and upgrades for you to find.
A nightmare. Okay, well, at least I have an idea of what could happen to me out there.
Oh, God. Yeah, we really need to take care of ourselves out there. We've got a lot of stomachs to think about. I can't take care of you if I don't have the strength to keep my eyes open. We have to play.
Though the Red Lantern isn't the greatest game if you look at each of its individual aspects, this is a perfect example of the whole being greater than the sum of its parts. The encounters are repetitive, sure, the writing is fairly minimal, the hunting and fishing minigames really are just pretty simple. Regardless of all of this, the game leaves a lasting impression with its captivating charm and beautiful visuals. The way that the bond with your animals, the wilderness, and your protagonist grows, you really begin to feel an emotional attachment to the experience. The Red Lantern is truly one of the most unique experiences in 2020, and is recommended to anyone who enjoys a different take on the roguelite genre. We give this one a buy it.